supremely intelligent. Why?
Because we are here.
Rupa Goswami says, enthusiasm is the essential ingredient to success in spiritual life. So it certainly takes some enthusiasm, some determination to overcome a few snowflakes to be here. So, congratulations. And you all are supremely intelligent. And because you are here, I have an opportunity to be here. So I consider myself blessed that you all are here. So thank you. And let us have a nice discussion today to reward us for our determination. That sound good? So 17, 18, 19 Mataji? So you all did 16 last time? Okay. So in the prior verse, Krishna is telling Arjuna, one who does not follow in the human life cycle of sacrifice established by the Vedas lives a life of sin. So, Krishna, a couple of verses prior, said that one who prepares food for personal sense enjoyment, what do they eat?
Sin.
Now, that may seem at first look to be a little bit of an extreme statement, right? Wait a minute. I have to offer everything to Krishna, otherwise I'm eating sin? Or, in this statement, if we do not do sacrifice established by the Vedas, we are living a life full of sin. So there's one fundamental reason why this is a unequivocal, undebatable fact. Anybody know? Why is this true?
Because we are getting everything from him, so it's a gratitude to offer him.
So we are getting everything from who?
Krishna.
Krishna. Everything?
Everything.
Everything. So, if I walk into a giant store, and there are thousands and thousands of items, and I take one small item out of the store without paying, is that okay? Why? The store has so many things. If I take something out of that store without paying, what am I?
Thief.
A thief! And the thief is rewarded or punished?
Punished.
So, in this store of the material world, what is ours? Nothing. And who is the shopkeeper in this example?
Krishna.
So if I'm going to use something, what is my obligation? I have to pay for it. Do I get out my credit card or Apple Pay, Google Pay to pay Krishna? How do I pay for that? Huh? By gratitude. So having a consciousness of gratitude. So that is the first start, right? To acknowledge that I came into this world with nothing. I'm going to leave this world with nothing. And everything between point A and point B, I'm using Krishna's resources. So I have to have some gratitude. And how do I express that gratitude?
Offering him.
Offering it first to Krishna. That is yajna. Yajna. But when we offer to Krishna, does he take it and we are left with nothing?
Yes,
In fact, whatever we give to Krishna, he gives back many, many times more. Many, many times more. Right? But it's still our responsibility to give, to do yajna. We should not do yajna and think that if I don't do, somehow Krishna will be missing out. Or he needs our yajna. He needs something from us. Just like when child, gives something to mother and father. The mother and father need whatever that article is, but still they appreciate because it was given with love. So we are like that. So our yajna, our sacrifice, is an expression of our gratitude. Krishna, you are giving me. I am giving you first. And from what you give back, I'll enjoy. I'll use. So this is the mood of yajna. And if we don't, we are sin. Because we are a thief. There is no gentle way to put it. That is the reality. We are a thief. We may make payments according to man's laws. But man is just thief. Because I may claim this is my land. But how I can claim it's my land? I didn't make it. I didn't create it. So this is the cycle of sacrifice. So now, let's read verses 17, 18, and 19 and discuss a little bit about who has a duty and who does not have a duty. And as I was reading while we were doing kirtan, this is perfectly aligning with your question. So, Krishna is the supreme mystic. He does this all the time to show He's always there for our answers. So, if somebody likes to read 17?
155. I can read.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yastva atma ratir eva syadatma triptascha manava atma menyeva cha santushta staya karmaya karyam na vidyate. But for one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of self-realization, and who is satisfied in the self only, fully satiated, I don't know pronounce, for him there is no duty. Purport: a person who is fully Krishna conscious and is fully satisfied by his acts in Krishna consciousness no longer has any duty to perform. Due to his being Krishna conscious, all impiety within is instantly cleansed, an effect of many, many thousands of yajna performances. By such clearing of consciousness, one becomes fully confident of his eternal position in relationship with the Supreme. His duty thus becomes self-illuminated by the grace of the Lord, and therefore he no longer has any obligations to the Vedic injunctions. Such a Krishna conscious person is no longer interested in material activities and no longer takes pleasure in material arrangements like wine, women, and similar infatuations.
Let's read 18 also.
Neva tasya krite nartho na krite niha kaschana na chasya sarva bhuteshu kachid artha vayasa prasya. A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living being. Purport: a self-realized man is no longer obliged to perform any prescribed duty, save and accept activities in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not inactivity either, as will be explained in the following verses. A Krishna conscious man does not take shelter of any person, man or demigod. Whatever he does in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in the discharge of his obligation.
Okay. Well, let's read 19 also, and then we'll discuss. Somebody else would like to read 19?
तस्मात् असकत् सततं कार्यं कर्म समाचर आसक्तो हे आचरण कर्म परम आपनोति पुरुषः. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a manner of duty. For by
working without attachment, one attains the Supreme. Purport. The Supreme is the personality of Godhead for the devotees, and liberation for the impersonalists. A person, therefore, acting for Krishna or in Krishna consciousness, under proper guidance, and without attachment to the result of the work, is certainly making progress towards the supreme goal of life. Arjuna is told that he should fight in the battle of Kurukshetra for the interest of Krishna because Krishna wanted him to fight. To be a good man or a non-violent man is a personal attachment, but to act on behalf of the Supreme is to act without attachment for the result. That is perfect action of the highest degree, recommended by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Vedic rituals, like prescribed sacrifices, are performed for purification of impious activities that were performed in the field of sense gratification. But action in Krishna consciousness is transcendental to the reactions of good or evil one. A Krishna conscious person has no attachment for the result, but acts on behalf of Krishna alone. He engages in all kind of activities, but is completely non-attached.
So, this topic is one of great confusion, and one that we mix and match some different topics and concepts. So let's try to clarify and make them clear. So, do we have some duty to perform?
Yes.
So we've just spoken about how the rains come ultimately from the performance of our yajnas, which are prescribed in the Vedas, in our prescribed duties. Right? So we have discussed this topic that we have duties to perform, prescribed duties to perform. Okay? Now, here, Krishna is saying in 17, for one person there is no duty. So who has no duty?
Krishna himself.
Okay, so Krishna himself has no duty, absolutely, because he is the
Supreme Personality.
Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has no duty. He has many activities.
No, he's taking
But-
care of us. That means that is his duty, right?
It's not his duty,
It's his pleasure.
it's his pleasure. It's his enjoyment. He has nothing that is required of him. Duty means something is required of me. But he is the Supreme. Even if he wants to work, he wants to do something, just by his will it can happen. He doesn't have to put forth effort. Just by his will. But us, we don't work like that. So Krishna has no duty. Who else has no duty?
Krishna consciousness.
A Krishna conscious person. So specifically, what is a Krishna conscious person? Okay, so one who is self-satisfied. How are they self-satisfied?
Gratification of one's own self.
Okay, so they don't have to do any gratification of one's own self. So where is their satisfaction? Because it says here that one is fully satiated. Satiated means happy, content. Just like after you eat a big plate of prasad, you are satiated. Okay, no more. No more is needed, right? How many of us would like to be fully satiated in all aspects of our life? We're all looking for it, right? So who is that such person?
Who is not attached to the results?
Okay, so one who is not attached to the results.
One who is satisfied with life. One who is satisfied of his life.
Okay, one who is satisfied with himself, but how does one come to this position?
But by realizing that,
Realizing?
by realizing himself, by
And what does realizing himself mean? I pull out my ID and say, okay, I am this person. I have this color eyes. I am this weight, this address. That is, what does realizing the self mean?
He is not attached to the results of a duty while he is doing all his activities.
Okay.
He is not worried about the result.
Okay, so those are not good descriptions of what the person is, but who is such person? Who is he?
Spirit soul. So his connection with the God.
So I'm spirit, soul, and I am? What am I?
I'm part of parcel of Krishna.
I am part and parcel of Krishna,
I'm working for Krishna.
and I am
Working for Krishna.
working for Krishna. This is what we say self-realization. So what does self-realization mean? It means I know who I am. But in reality, except for all of you, everybody is completely clueless as to who they are. We think, I am Indian, I am American, I am male, I am female, I am engineer, I am doctor, I am father, I am brother, I am this, I am that. But in reality, I am none of that. Because that is a very temporary reality. Everything I just described is a temporary reality. 100 years from now, will I be any of those? Maybe, maybe not. 100 years prior, was I any of those? I don't know. So those are temporary realities. But what is my eternal reality? I am spirit soul. Who is?
Part and parcel of Krishna.
And thus my duty is
Krishna.
to serve Krishna. Self-realization is not complicated. It's very simple. I am soul, part and parcel of Krishna, and my eternal duty is to serve Krishna. If I live with this consciousness, this is Krishna consciousness, then what is the result? Full satisfaction. Full happiness. Not mostly, not some, but complete. And it means that one is satisfied in the self only. What does that mean?
He is happy serving Krishna. He doesn't have any enjoyment in any other activities.
So my happiness is in this fact. Now if we understand, can anybody take this fact away from me? If I lose all of my wealth, if these are the three facts that I am taking in my possession as my real identity, can my wealth take away my self-realization? What about if I lose all of my fame and in fact I become infamous? Will it affect my Krishna consciousness, self-realization?
No.
How about I lose all of my health? My whole body becomes invalid. Anything? I lose all of my relationships. Anything can happen? So everything that we search for in happiness on the bodily platform is dependent on everything that is beyond our control. My happiness is due always to some external circumstance. What this person thinks of me, whether the stock market is up or down, whether it is raining or shining or snowing, whether I have this much vacation or that much vacation, whether my boss gives me this promotion, or everything is based on some external factors that are not beyond my control. So what is the potential for me to be satisfied? It's not. But the Krishna conscious person is fully self-satisfied. Fully self-satisfied. So no material circumstance can check a self-realized person's happiness. So this is the position of the self-realized soul. It is a position of great strength because they can maintain their happiness in the midst of anything, even a giant snowstorm. It is of no consequence because it has no impact on their relationship with Krishna, which is the source of their happiness. So this is the strength of that position. So why that person has no duty? What duty are we speaking of?
Material.
Material duty.
The yagnas we perform for the demigods.
Yes. So this is where we get into some confusion. Because we see prescribed duties in our scriptures, in our Vedas. But most of those duties are for material sense enjoyment. It is what we call good karma. So I can either choose to try to enjoy materially in a regulated way or an unregulated way. Regulated means I follow the different procedures within our Shastra and I can enjoy some material prosperity. Or I can just try to do what I want. I can go and do whatever I want. Forget what Shastra says. No yajna. And just enjoy whatever I want. We know what is the result of that? What am I if I try to enjoy all the shopkeeper's goods without paying?
Bad karma. Bad karma.
Yeah, bad karma. I'm a thief. So I will incur sin. But what is the result when one follows these prescribed duties and does good karma?
He will enjoy heavenly planets, but
So he'll enjoy. But. You said but.
Again has to come back.
he is not liberated.
And will he be fully satisfied?
No.
When you have no money and you get $1 million, will you be fully satisfied?
Partially.
We think yes. But ask the person who has 1 million, are they fully satisfied? No. Then they get 10 million. Will they get it? No. You have world fame, you'll be satisfied?
No.
So none of these things will fully satisfy us. Because these are all material activities. So good karma means these prescribed duties to enhance our sense enjoyment or to purify from some prior sinful activities. These prayaschitta sacrifices, right? So I do some, bad activities or to gain relief from some activity. I do some other yagyas to offset that. And there are different, regulations in place. So Krishna says a self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor by any reason to perform such work, nor any reason not to do such work. So, is the Krishna conscious person not enjoying all the facilities of the world? Are they not using the facilities of the world? Taking breath, eating different foodstuffs, walking on this planet. So then don't I have some duty to repay that facilities I've used? Don't I have to pay for it through some yajna?
But I'm offering it to Krishna before I'm using those.
Okay. So how does that satisfy my duties?
Krishna is providing me.
So what about the different devatas, the different demigods who are there in charge of these different responsibilities? Won't they become upset?
They get it from Krishna. Sir.
Understand? Where the prescribed duties that we are performing to pick any devata. Who has written that prescribed yajna? Who has created that? Krishna has done it. The devata has not done that. The demigod has not written. Krishna has written, this is the yajna you perform to this person, this is the yajna to this person. So Krishna has authored the yajna. Who has put that demigod in that position?
Krishna.
Krishna has put that demigod. Who has empowered that demigod to manage whatever specific affair is being asked of that demigod to manage? Krishna. So if I am satisfying Krishna, then who is left?
Everyone is satisfied.
Everyone is satisfied. Because everybody is dependent on Krishna. Everybody is dependent on Krishna. So when I serve Krishna, it is not that I am ignoring all these other personalities. You cannot serve Krishna and ignore these other personalities. Just like I cannot put food into the stomach and feed the leg but ignore the hand. No, when you put food into the stomach, all parts of the body are nourished. But conversely, if I try to directly feed to the hand, does it work? There is a process to satisfy all. So for a Krishna conscious person, all of their duties are already satisfied. How? By their bhakti, by their practice of Krishna consciousness. So it is, we also have duty, but it is satisfied by the practice of bhakti. So the Krishna conscious person is not attached to doing the duty or even not doing. So in the 19th verse, Prabhupada writes, how does a person act in Krishna consciousness?
Without being attached to the fruits of activities.
Without attachment to the fruits of activities. Because whose fruits are they?
Krishna.
And how does a Krishna conscious person know what to do and what not to do? How do I know whether I'm doing right or wrong, whether this is what I'm supposed to do? What is my duty in Krishna consciousness? How do I know? But how do I know what serving Krishna means?
Krishna has provided the instructions.
But how do I know what instructions from me? Huh?
Whatever activity I do, I do it according to Krishna.
Okay, whatever I do according to... But how do I know how to do what Krishna wants? If I go into a giant office building, do I just go and say, okay, I'll start doing some work, and I just start doing whatever work I think is work? Is that how it operates? No. Somebody has to assign me some work to do and tell me this is the work you are to do. Right? I may be some knowledgeable person in some field, maybe even a big expert. But still, when I go into this corporation, do I just start doing my work? Someone guides me. This is the work you can do. This is how you do. This is what should be done. So similarly, I want to be Krishna conscious, self-realized, understand I am the Supreme Person, the part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, His eternal servant. But now, how to know what to do? Guru must tell. And that's why Prabhupada says here that a person therefore acting for Krishna or in Krishna consciousness, what? Under proper guidance. So this is most essential. That Guru teaches us how to act in Krishna consciousness. Explains to us what is our real duty. Do I have to do these different yagyas? Do I need to do this specific issue? What? There is where Guru guides us. The principles are clear, right? We have no duty to perform but Krishna consciousness. So Arjuna wanting to be non-violent. What was that?
Personal choice. Personal choice.
Personal choice. Prabhupada says that was sense enjoyment. That's strong, right? So if Arjuna said, I want to be violent, that's the wrong answer. If he says, I want to be non-violent, that is the wrong answer. And what is wrong with that? I want. I want. Remove that from our vocabulary. Then we'll be happy. And simply, what Krishna wants. What Krishna wants. Because I have faith that Krishna wants me only to be happy. And thus, He'll only guide me in things that are good for me. We have this experience in the home. Child wants to do something, and mother and father want the child to do something else. Who is right? Most of the time, all the time, rarely.
All the time.
All the time. And when mother and father restrict child from doing something, it is for whose good that restriction is put in place.
For the child.
Mother and father are not benefiting? So Krishna, we are like child going to Krishna. Instead of putting forth, to mother and father, I want to do this. Instead, what shall I do? What is best for me? And I have faith. Because when I make my own decisions about what to do, what is the result? Millions and millions of births. Suffering, birth, death, old age and disease. And now I have come to some knowledge that actually Krishna knows better for me than me myself. But that takes some surrender of our false ego to fully understand it. And thus that is why one must accept a bona fide guru in the practice of Krishna consciousness. Just think, why can't I? You can just practice. This is good. But to fully practice, just like to go into the office, I cannot. I can do some work and maybe it'll be productive. Maybe it'll be helpful. But to really engage, I must work in instruction. So similarly, this Krishna conscious person, their only duty is to satisfy the order of Krishna and Guru. That is their duty. And they have no other responsibility. I want to read, somebody can read on page 370. This verse is the last verse of chapter 8. Just to give us some further evidence that the Krishna conscious person has satisfied all responsibilities. Somebody can read just a translation.
A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and purgative activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end he reaches the supreme eternal abode.
So now we see bhakti, devotional service, it is not bereft, meaning it is not missing any of the results of studying the Vedas, doing all sacrifices, austerities, charity, philosophical and fruitive activities. It is all of that's included. And one more thing is achieved. Back home, back to God. So bhakti is the all-in-one process. And that is why we have only one duty, ultimately, when we come to the point of self-realization. So whatever activities we do in this world, we should do in a detached way. Meaning they are not our fruits, they are Krishna's fruits. But in bhakti, one detaches not only from the fruits, but also from the work itself. Not that one does not work, but meaning Arjuna is ready to fight this war for one reason ultimately. Why? Krishna wants. So the devotee is not attached to the work. I want to do this work, but I'll renounce the fruits to Krishna. That is karma yoga. Very beneficial, very purifying. But bhakti is even higher than karma yoga. Bhakti is, I am detached from the work and the fruits. Krishna, you tell me what to do, I'll do it. And of course, whatever is produced of that work, it is yours. So in bhakti, one detaches both from the work and the fruits. In karma yoga, I am attached to some work. But I know that Krishna is or at least the Supreme Lord, not yet Krishna realized, but that the Supreme is the owner of the fruit. So I detach from the fruits.
Can you give an example of this? Can you give an example attached to the work and not attached to the fruit?
Yeah, I really want to be a doctor. And I want to practice medicine. And I'm going to practice medicine. But the fruits, what gains I get from that, I'm going to use in the Lord's service. So I'm attached to this job, but I'm detached from the fruits. Very advanced stage. And the result of working this way, two things happen. When I work in a detached manner, which is what Krishna is saying here, right? Work without attachment. Two things result. One, I obtain more knowledge. So whatever now, I begin to come to a higher consciousness. So knowledge occurs. And two, I purify. Purify the heart of the impurities. So as I work in this attachment, I want to be a doctor, I'm going to practice, it's very good. Because I will acquire more and more knowledge to come to the point that actually I should detach from even this desire. Why that desire is there? Some impurity, some ownership, some mode of passion is still there. Okay? Keep doing. Because we'll purify from that. And one will really come to the point, actually, I should do what Krishna wants me to do. And if Krishna wants me to practice doctor, I'll practice doctor, no problem. If he wants me to be a street sweeper, I'll be street sweeper, no problem. I have faith. Krishna will only put me in a position for my good. So, if we're not ready to come to that platform, then working in an attached manner will help us purify Prabhupada tells us we should come to the point of practicing bhakti, this detached manner. Because it's the only means to become fully satiated. Right? This is the self-realized person. Right? Even that attachment to the duty, to the work, will ultimately give us frustrations. Is that okay?
So even if what we think that we want to do this in a career and a life, so that is also an attachment to our work actually. So we should, if we are doing that under the guidance of the Guru, that this I have, how
Yeah.
do I mean, kind of.
Yeah, so we want to, again, there's a practical reality of, we take guidance from, Guru, and those who are guiding us in spiritual life, that, I should be ready to surrender to what Guru thinks is best for me. But Guru also is very intelligent. When Guru knows we have some attachment to certain things, he'll not push us too far. Right? Because he knows, okay, this dear child of mine, they're not ready to give this up yet. Let them continue, and they'll still purify from it. But the ultimate position would be, again, it's on the basis of simple fact. Who knows what's better for me? Me or Guru?
Guru.
110%. But that must be in our consciousness. Then it becomes very easy, right? So, but don't be, bewildered or scared, because Guru also knows our circumstance. And Guru gives instructions with the potency to fulfill them, but also understands, gives in dosages that we can tolerate, that we can take. So, this is the practical, It doesn't mean one becomes, if one has a career, then they can aspire for career success. They can aspire to, reach, because that is again fulfillment of a duty that's been given to them. Right? So when Krishna told Arjuna to fight, he didn't say you just show up on the battlefield and lackadaisically throw some arrows here, throw some arrows there. No, he said you fight with determination, with enthusiasm, with skill. But the purpose for it is because Krishna wants them to do it. So one does not then become, well, this is not my idea, well, fine, I'll just show up and go through the motions. Right? So it doesn't mean that one becomes lazy in the material world. A devotee is very enthusiastic in the material world, but not for material gains, for spiritual gains. Because what is the material world? It is all Krishna's energy. So the devotee also wants to use Krishna's energy to its fullest in service to Krishna. So they are not mutually exclusive, either or. Career success, society success, family success, those are not separate from my spiritual success. If you try to separate them, all those things will result in unhappiness. It is only when I bring Krishna into those things, my career, my family, my society, then I will actually find the happiness I'm searching for. But how to do that? That's where Guru comes into our life. Because it's not so easy for our own mind to see. Right? Again, just like in child. Child cannot see the big picture, right? They see candy, playing, this, short-term things. They don't see the big picture. We are like that. Right? We don't see the big picture. So we say, oh, I really want this, I really want this. But Guru and Krishna see the full picture. So if we just remember back to our childhood, how many things I really, really wanted that thought were the most important now seem foolish? Just remember, those same things we want today are also foolish. But Guru, Tattva Darshina, he has seen, Darshan, he has seen the truth. So he is seeing the full picture. So whose advice is better? Our own or Guru's? Right? This is how we can understand to have great faith and confidence. Not follow blindly, but follow with enthusiasm, knowing my spiritual father and my eternal father, they know what's best for me more than me. It's okay. Any other questions on this topic? Because it's very, again, we confuse some of these topics about some of these yagyas and things. Is it bhakti? Is it good karma, bad karma? So. All clear? Mapati, your answer is clear now?
How do we select our guru?
Good question. It is a great question. So, Krishna tells us that He is sitting in our heart as Paramatma, and He is observing our desires. And accordingly, He arranges circumstances by which actually Guru comes into our life. We should have a strong desire that let me find a bona fide Guru who can show me this path, and Krishna will manifest that in our heart. He'll bring Guru into our life. But Guru must come in parampara, meaning Guru is not an independent prophet of knowledge. Guru is a mailman. What do I mean? He is delivering the message of God. He is not writing. The mailman does not write the letters. He simply passes on. So the bona fide Guru must be coming in disciplic succession. So who's his Guru, his Guru, his Guru, his Guru? Ultimately it must end in Krishna. Because Krishna is the source of all knowledge. And such person is a bona fide Guru. But we pray to Krishna that Krishna, please bring a bona fide Guru into my life that can guide me, and that I can have strong confidence to surrender to Guru. Because Guru is not some, status symbol, some fashion statement. Oh, I have Guru, you have Guru. No. It is, I am convinced that Guru knows what's best for me, and I am convinced this material world is not a place for me to build my home. Right? Then we should take Guru, and we should take initiation, Diksha, and practice. And you all know what is my desire for all of you to take initiation. When? Yesterday. Because it's the greatest thing you'll ever do. It is the most indescribable and powerful experience. And nobody has to this day yet had but one regret. Why I waited. Why I waited. But don't worry, we've been waiting millions of lifetimes. So whatever time has elapsed, no problem. But you should fix this desire in your heart very strongly. That I need Guru in my life to guide me in the practice of devotional service. Because actually that is the beginning of our spiritual life. Initiation means to initiate the process. And so, in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, and in ISKCON specifically, there are basically two basic requirements for taking initiation. One must be chanting the holy name, 16 rounds per day. It's a very insignificant requirement, actually. It seems significant. How I'll do? It's 8.3% of your day. It's doable. By the potency of Guru, it will happen. And the second requirement, you follow the 4 regulator principles. No meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, and gambling. That's it. That's it. But we have to have a strong desire in our heart. Just like you had a strong desire in your heart to come today, regardless of the circumstance. I was not speaking lightly when I said you all are supremely intelligent. Because it takes determination and the blessings from Krishna to have that determination. And I consider it a great fortune. So we should take advantage of this fortune and work towards, formally accepting a guru in your life. And like I said, it will be the greatest decision of your life. I can guarantee you that. Unequivocally. Guarantee. There will always be some fears, some concerns. Am I ready? What if I can't? Those are all natural. 100% natural. But just trust me. Not just me. Anyone who has taken it will tell you the same. So desire in Krishna will bring Guru into your life. Okay? Any other?
Obviously, we can chant while working, while driving, or talking to somebody. Because in the temple, I saw many devotees talking and they are chanting. So, is it okay, or we have to sit someplace and we have to chant?
So, chanting is like this. It is a lifelong endeavor to continually improve the quality of our chanting. So quality of our chanting means the chanting when I am meditating and concentrating on Krishna and His names, forms, pastimes, and qualities. So we should chant all day long. And devotees do it while driving, while walking, while cooking, while talking with friends, while whatever. The chanting is. But the devotees, their 16 rounds of japa are as a very concentrated. And in that time, focused. Not multitasking. Not multitasking. Focused on chanting. This is my... But does it mean, because when we say 16, that's a minimum. But devotees can chant. So, additionally, on top of that, yes, doing chanting while, being out and about, if you will. So, great. But we should not count those rounds towards our 16 japa. So, that's the goal. In the beginning, that can become a little bit difficult. So you should come to chanting 16 rounds no matter how you do it. So quantity first, then bring the quality up. So if you're so, still adjusting your schedule and whatnot, just chant your 16 rounds however you can chant them. Just do it. And you see how Krishna reciprocates. When you put forth the effort, Krishna will make time in your day. You'll then realize after, what was I doing with those 2 hours? Krishna will make the time. But we have to make the effort first. A little bit of struggle. A little bit of challenge. So just do it. However you can do it, just chant your rounds. And then work on improving that quality of chanting. That dedicated, concentrated chanting. That's why we have this morning japa call. Where we chant in the morning together. You may not be able to chant all the rounds, then okay, no problem. Start with something and slowly come to that. So build progressively. But first things first, come to chanting 16 rounds. It's not such a big effort. But that effort will be significantly rewarded. Those prayers will not go unanswered. So make it happen. You all can do it. Make it happen. Anything else? Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
We are talking about a self-realized person. So and has no prescribed duty, right? No obligations. But what about a person, and that person is a Krishna conscious person, but a Krishna conscious person who is starting their journey, when is starting their journey, may not, may be committing some mistakes along the way. So still, that person may not have any duties, no obligations.
Correct.
That.
Correct. Because Prabhupada gives the example that on a mango tree, there are small buds, then there are some unripened fruits, some green mangoes, and then some fully ripe mangoes. In the end, they are all mangoes. Some are still in the process of becoming ripened. As long as that bud remains attached to the tree, it will ripen. So similarly, we are budding mangoes. we are imperfect in our practice of devotional service. But what is our response? Just stay connected to Srila Prabhupada. Just stay connected. And we'll ripen also. We'll come to the pure platform. So what is our only duty? Keep practicing Krishna consciousness. Spending time anywhere else is only delaying my ripening. Right? So yes, while we are not in a perfected state, it still means we have only one duty. That is to keep serving Krishna as best we can under proper guidance. That's the way we can understand it. So that's a good question, because that question comes up a lot. Well, I'm not at this stage, so then does it mean I have? We all are self-realized. We're not fully self-realized.
Then what is the difference between a self-realized person and then we talk about Goswamis who are controlling their all senses? So is there a connection between complete self-realization and that, or?
Well, yeah, so like I said, we're all self-realized to some degree, right? We all said, who are we? We all talked about it. But fully self-realized means I'm living in that consciousness. Well, when I'm fully self-realized, then automatically I am Goswami. What does Goswami mean? The senses are controlled. What are the senses controlled by? My knowledge. My knowledge that using my senses for mundane material is useless. Right? So the control of the senses is a byproduct, a result of the degree of my self-realization. Right? So that's why we say devotee, pure devotee, Mahabhagavat, right? There are gradations. There are levels, right? Sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, prema. There are different levels of progression. Right? So we are in the early stages of practicing devotional service, sadhana bhakti. And so my self-realization is there, but as you said, it's not fully realized. If it's fully realized, a Goswami doesn't control their senses through any difficult endeavor. There's no taste for anything but Krishna. It happens naturally, not by any great effort. So that's the result of being fully self-realized. Just
something about Vrindavan.
huh?
Vrindavan.
about Krishna. Vrindavan is like, it's an amazing place to experience the spiritual world, because it's so empowered with spiritual energy that, but you feel it. It's tangible. It's not like theoretical. And there are some amazing things, like when you chant your japa in Vrindavan, it's like it just flows and your mind is concentrated, and literally, like you're driving in the vehicle and you're chanting, and as soon as you cross the boundary of Vrindavan on the way to Delhi, you feel the difference. I mean, it's undescribable, but it's completely experienceable. But the energy in Vrindavan is so potent that the spiritual energy and progress is it's so sweet. You know, I don't know. I find this like I rest like 30-40% less than I normally do in Vrindavan. There's just this energy, and you just enjoy all the wonderful opportunities in Vrindavan. The devotees are so sweet. The deities are so beautiful and powerful. The holy names, everywhere you go, you hear just the blissful holy names. Yes, if you want, you'll also hear honking horns and this and that. But really what you hear is the sweetness of Krishna's names and pastimes. And it's just, wonderful, wonderful place. It was, very cold when we were there, but still it felt so warm, being in Krishna's home, his eternal abode. Because this Vrindavan is no different than Goloka Vrindavan in the spiritual world. Because Krishna himself performed his pastimes here. So it's a very powerful, sweet place, and very, very wonderful. It's full of Kalpavriksha desire trees. And it's amazing, you have some desire, it'd be nice to have this service or this or that or something, and it just happens. It just happens. And, I have this uttar stick, and Nitya Kishori was desiring for this. And I was leaving, and one of the pujaris gave me this and said, take it home. And I brought it home, and she's like, wait a minute, I wanted one of these. How it happens. How it happens. And this first hour, that was just a coincidence. But in reality, this happens all the time. Because Vrindavan is full of kalpavrikshas, these desire trees. So it is the place to go and develop strong spiritual desires, to become free of our anarthas, to become sincere in our spiritual practice. And it is amazing. We had a chance to do Govardhan Parikrama and walk around Govardhan. It was so sweet. It was a little cold, Arjun.
Yeah,
Not too bad. But we enjoyed walking around Govardhan. We went to a New Year's Eve party in Vrindavan. Even New Year's Eve parties take place in Vrindavan. Big party, DJ, everything. Even that was spiritually blissful. And yes, it was very nice. So I pray we all can go to Vrindavan together someday and do some visiting. Very sweet.
I'm very greedy today to probably add a little bit more of interaction with Guru Maharaj. We're talking about Guru right now, so.
That's a difficult topic for me to open. Very blessed. I spent almost 10 days with our Gurudev. It was very, very sweet and special. I cherish those moments and minutes very, very dearly. So it was very sweet. He's he's extraordinarily powerful, determined. We talk about determination. His enthusiasm to serve Srila Prabhupada's mission, it's unending, and it has truly this tireless spirit. And being with him, you feel like a little child, in the hands of Father. He has so much love and care, and every little thing, making sure that you're okay, this, that, and giving some guidance and instruction. Do this, don't do that. And it was very sweet, very, very sweet. So this time he wanted me to see a lot of the other temples in Delhi, so I had a chance to see all these other temples in Delhi, so that was very special. So every day he was sending me to one temple and meeting. That actually was very enlightening, because we talk about how many temples Guru Maharaj has built in Delhi, but you cannot even imagine it until you start seeing them. I mean, it's just extraordinary. And more than the temples, every temple I go and we're meeting devotees and speaking with them, and I'm just blown away. And you truly feel like this insignificant speck in this giant ocean, because Guru Maharaj has made so many illustrious devotees who are doing service we cannot even imagine. And you meet them and you feel their spiritual energy and their potency, and they are showering so much love on you. And I can say that actually was as special of an experience for me than even being with Guru Maharaj, was being with some of his most dearmost disciples. And it was a really amazing experience to see how powerful he is, to manifest all of these temples, but to manifest all of these devotees who are serving with such exquisite determination. It was really inspiring. I was moved and shaken and touched to see these devotees, and it reminded me how far I have to go to try to be some tiny disciple of Guru Maharaj, because he has amazing devotees doing things, and the projects they are running, they're inconceivable. And this is just in Delhi. And then he goes everywhere else. And then we had a chance to go to, so very special. So we went to Kurukshetra on Gita Jayanti Day.
Wow.
So, and somehow, as Krishna arranged, we left Delhi, but our driver was late. So we left late. And somehow we reached right at the beginning of the first verse, and we were able to sit during the whole yajna and recite all the 700 verses. And then Guru Maharaj was there. He gave a class afterwards. He gave 4 devotees brahmachari initiation. And of course, they're building this very spectacular Krishna Arjuna temple. So to be there on Gita Jayanti Day, it was spectacular. So, I don't know. Like I said, this topic I could go on for hours, but it was very sweet. So, thank you for allowing me to speak on His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He is an extraordinary personality, and don't know, I feel like an intruder and an imposter, particularly being in Delhi considering myself sort of an inspiring disciple in the midst of some most amazing devotees. Most amazing devotees. So, very sweet. Thank you. Anything else?
Prabhuji, how Guru Maharaj entered into your life?
How Guru Maharaj entered into my life. She's going to turn this off now.